This week on X-Treks, subletting my body in this economy?
It's the Body Snatch episode.
Welcome to X-Treks, a podcast where we introduce each other to our fandoms one episode at a time. I'm your host, Erin Cline, an X-Files enthusiastic apologist.
And I'm your other host, Stella Cheeks, a forever slut for Star Trek the original series. Each podcast, we pick 2 episodes that fit a cinematic theme, watch them together, and then record our feelings.
Our theme this week is Body Snatch.
I feel like a broken record, but we have to do every Star Trek episode. Even the boring, nothing burger episodes. And I honestly kind of really struggled with picking a theme for this one. It kind of fits Body Snatch, but also the theme should really just be, Scotty, shut up and do your job. But that didn't seem helpful for Erin to pick out an X-Files episode.
I mean, I probably could have figured out something.
We should have done shut up and do your job, actually.
Yeah, shut up and do your job. We could have probably found a really good one from the X-Files for that one. Ah, man.
Retrospect. Now it's just
right,
Body
we stopped
Snatch.
here. We scrapped the whole episode.
No, I can't watch these episodes again.
No, absolutely not. I'm not watching that again. And for the X-Files, the time has come for us to once again return to my favorite season to remind everyone it really wasn't as bad as you remember. It's Season 8. This episode is a great example of why there is a lot inside of Season 8 that both really holds up and can also be really fucking scary sometimes. Watch out! Don't let him sit inside your body. It's Badlaa.
Are you ready for Dig It In There, Mr. Spock?
Oh boy, am I.
Mr. Spock, explanation.
Only of the result, not of the cause. In each case, a different area of the brain was affected. Our voluntary nerve functions were under some form of pressure.
And now for a quick-ish episode summary. The Enterprise is en route to Memory Alpha, aka a planet that is home to the Federation's Central Library, with no firewall or security, but that's neither here nor there. Along with our regular lads, a Lieutenant Mira Romaine is on board as the new liaison assigned to the planet. She is also the new obsession of Scotty, much to everyone's chagrin. Look, everyone wants Scotty to be happy, but he's just so annoying about it. On their way to the planet, they encounter a storm-like light phenomenon that enters the ship and affects the crew's nervous systems, temporarily stunning them, but knocking Mira the fuck out. Scotty rushes to her side as she wakes up, making a weird guttural noise. McCoy makes her go to sickbay because, duh, he's a doctor, and Scotty follows because he's a lovesick idiot. Chapel gives Scotty what's what as he encourages Mira's bad patient habits. Well, another day in space, better continue on to Memory Alpha, except there is that light storm again, and it's attacking the planet. The landing party of literally the most important people on the ship head to the surface to only encounter a bunch of dead people. Well, almost all of them. One is a woman dying slowly, making that strange guttural noise that Mira was making. Speaking of, she beams down and is like, we gotta go. It's coming back. And the lads are like, nah. But then Sulu is like, guys, you better get back. They basically have no idea what's happening, but, well, Spock's gonna Spock, and he realizes that the lights are actually a community of beings. Of course, we still don't know how to talk to them, so let's shoot them with some phasers instead, except, whoopsie, when the phasers hit the lights, they also hit Mira. Kirk has had enough of this, so he calls the lads and Mira to the briefing room where we learn that while she is not telepathic or empathic, she is pliant as hell. Sexist? It feels sexist. McCoy also discovers that her brainwaves have been altered, which is impossible, and yet the new ones look exactly like the light aliens, which means they're going to take control of her, which Scotty can absolutely not abide. To prevent this, they devise a complicated plan to allow the aliens to take partial control of her body and then subject her to high-pressure atmospheric chamber. But before they can place her body into the chamber, the aliens enter Romaine's body and begin to speak through her, identifying themselves as survivor from the long-dead planet of Zetar. The aliens are dicks who are like, look, we deserve to live. Sure, it'll kill this woman, but we deserve it. Mira is failing the fight, but suppresses them long enough for them to get her into the chamber, where the aliens are eventually driven out and destroyed. Romaine survives and all is right in the world, so Scotty gets his happily ever after, right? Nope, she still has to go do her job and salvage Memory Alpha while the Triumvirate yuck it up. Maybe Scotty will just do his job now.
That's the end? Okay.
What did you think of this episode?
I got so bored during your
It's so
recap
boring.
that I was like, I'm disassociating. I can't. There were parts of it that I did enjoy, and then it was
just so boring.
It's so boring.
There's
it was
nothing
so
to
boring.
hate. There's nothing to laugh at. There's nothing to like.
It was just like redundant and repetitive. Like it felt like they did the same thing like 8 times. When she was floating in the pod, they did the like yearning look to the right 3 times. That's too many. I love Alternative Factor, and that's too many times.
Yeah, at least with Alternative Factor, there's like, for me at least, stuff to like hate or be like, oh, this is ridiculous. There's just like, it's just boring. It's just an episode.
So boring.
It's very late in season 3. A fun fact about this episode is that it was co-written by Sherry Lewis, aka Lamb Chop.
What?
Yep.
What? Why?
Because her partner is the other writer, Jeremy Tarcher, I think his name. And then, yeah, they got commissioned to write this episode, and she co-wrote it for him. They petitioned for her to play the lady's role, and she didn't get that role. But she's the whole reason there's the like love subplot, because she was like, Scotty deserves it.
You know what? Good for you, Lamb Chop. I'm glad.
But yeah, so this boring ass episode was co-written by Lamb Chop.
That's incredible.
So I guess that's like a cool fact about the episode, but it is still an immensely skippable
so much
episode.
Talking, like it feels very much like that kind of makes sense to me that there would be so much talking from someone who usually works in children's media.
Ventriloquism.
Works in ventriloquism.
She is.
I know she does. It's just a funny thing to say.
Literally her job.
I know. She's just a funny thing to say.
Yeah. That's like the big fun fact about this one.
Oh, wow.
There's like other stuff, but like, yeah, I feel like we have to fill time in this podcast, but like,
I know.
what are things about the triumvirate look really handsome.
All of them look very handsome. That's true.
Uhura's hair looks good. Chapel has a great moment where she puts Scotty in his fucking place.
With the accent, it was so good. I haven't seen her in ages. We haven't had an episode with her in a minute, and so I was really excited to see her.
This episode has everyone in it. It has all of the core
that rules,
because it's like the core crew and then Chapel. Everyone's there.
Oh, I love that. Cool.
So that's something it's got going for it.
Sulu is extremely competent. All of the bridge officers are extremely competent, which is nice. They all can accurately describe the symptoms that happen to them, which I also really liked, that everyone was like
my eyes didn't work.
Right,
my
exactly.
hands didn't work.
But they were, as we said when we were talking about it while we were watching, none of them were so weak that they died, though, for some reason.
Well, she's very pliant, you see.
Well, yes, but I meant the scholars all died immediately.
Well, they say there's like a throwaway line later, like they died because they were fighting back too hard.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what the aliens were saying. They're like, no, if you just like lie back and think of England, it'll be fine, essentially. But all of the academics were like, no, my brain.
I see. Okay. That does make sense, actually.
Yeah. So I get that. But yeah, that whole like pliant thing like does feel sexist. I mean, I get why they didn't want to be like telepathic, because like if it was about telepathy, then like why wouldn't they go for Spock, right? Like he's the most telepathic person on that ship. But also like it just feels sexist. Also, it low-key feels sexist the whole time. Scotty is like a really
oh my god, he's aggressive. He's too aggressive.
He's super
I was over
hovery and he's super patronizing. Like she doesn't seem annoyed by it. I don't know. It's the 60s, so I guess like ladies be used to it. But like yeah, he's like a really hovery, like he's just annoying as a boyfriend.
So annoying.
I can see like going on a date with Scotty and be like, oh, he's great, and then he becomes your like annoying, like hovery boyfriend.
Ugh, no.
He gives back, and he is like giving the ick to the crew. Like,
yes, every single person is like, get your shit together, go do your job.
That would have been a good theme too, the ick.
Oh man,
because like the opening scene where Kirk is like waxing poetic about how Scotty's being a fucking idiot. There's like you see Kirk look over at the two of them, and he just has like this look of disgust on his face.
That's gross.
It's so funny though.
I think the ick can work for both of these episodes in their own ways.
Yeah.
So if we want to kind of subtitle this one, the ick.
The ick, yeah. Scotty is given the whole, but honestly, like she still seems into it. She's the only one that's not getting the ick, and I guess that's the only important one.
I guess so.
But the whole crew, Scotty's giving the whole crew the ick.
Did Uhura get a jab in, or was she just over there being competent doing her job?
She was just doing her job, I think.
Fair enough.
But like Sulu says something. Like, he, like, looks over and is like, oh, this fucking guy.
This fucking guy. He also
That was Chekhov and Sulu. Chekhov says, I wouldn't imagine Scotty would go for someone so brainy.
Right.
And Sulu says, I don't think Scotty's realized she has a brain.
Sulu, like, you know, being like, yeah, he's just in it for her tits. You know how Scotty or Sulu is. I don't know why I keep mixing up Sulu, Scotty, whatever.
There was the moment at the very beginning where he's talking to her and he's like, you're the prettiest, sanest, this whole list of things. And he's saying this about, you're the best woman who's ever walked the ship. And then they pan over and her's right there. Like, girl,
like,
what the fuck? She's right there.
I mean, I'm sure I've talked about this before. And when we get to the best Star Trek movie, Star Trek V, I am like a Scotty Uhura endgame person. I love them together. And old Scotty and old Uhura together are actually like really fucking sweet. And so it is funny. That is like a funny juxtaposition.
Oh, Scotty.
Oh, Scotty.
Yeah, I did love that everyone was very sassy. I liked that, like, this was like parts of a whole thing where there were parts that I enjoyed, but the whole was just boring.
It was just boring.
Mad boring.
I'm yawning thinking about it.
I know, right?
It also feels sexist that they keep calling her the girl.
I hated that. I hated
Get that girl.
that.
She's a lieutenant in Starfleet.
Right?
Like,
they should be calling her the lieutenant, and they do not. They just
No.
call her the girl.
I think it's like more because like Scotty's like infantilizing of her a little bit that has made her not the lieutenant anymore. It's the girl who Scotty's obsessed
girl,
with.
yeah.
Scotty's girl. Ugh. Memory Alpha is like a thing that comes back. Like that's
I
like
assume
a
so.
Star Trek thing. It's also like the big fan site is Memory Alpha. So like
Okay.
when I'm doing
I
like
knew it
notes
sounded
and
familiar,
stuff,
yeah.
I go to Memory Alpha. Like it is, you know, it's like the wiki or whatever. Wild that they don't have any security on Memory Alpha.
Right? They're like, well, they just assumed that everyone uses it, so it's fine.
They're
It's like, when
it's free information. So like, why do we gotta lock it down?
Fun to say in 2025 in America. What's up?
Yeah. This is, post World War III Starfleet. Yeah, I don't know. I think McCoy is good in this where he's like, he has the energy of, I'm the doctor without being like, I'm the doctor.
Yeah.
He has to like, come to sick bay. She's like a real bitch to him in sick bay.
Yeah, she is. She totally
And
is.
Scotty's like, it's okay. She's just
She's just going through it. She's just going through it. It's okay. She's just a wee little girl going through it.
She's just a girl who's been hired to do a very complicated job, but
Yeah.
just a girl.
Yep, just a girl.
Those aliens are dicks. Their whole reasoning is we didn't get to live out our lives, so we should be able to do that while they're murdering a bunch of people.
Yeah. I don't understand either. Was the intent that they would each end up in their own individual person, or
Nope, I
they
think
were all
they're,
just going to
used
stay
to being
together?
a collective now, so just be a collective in a body. And they were like, yeah, we're going to live out this life and then we're going to die, but we deserve to have the life before we die. Meanwhile, they're murdering people throughout the planet, the universe.
Doesn't seem that they have a lot of
Perspective.
forethought.
You would think if your whole world explodes,
You'd
you're
have
just
a little
like floating
empathy.
around.
Yeah.
But nah.
No. Mm-mm.
Nah. Let's see if there's any other facts about this boring episode. This is referenced in a couple books. They're not even very exciting books, so like who cares? This episode was like loosely based on a book by Wallace Moore called Balzan of the Cat People. I don't know what any of those words mean, but that's the thing that I looked up.
That's a sentence. All right, got it.
This is the only episode of the original series where the four principal personnel of the Enterprise, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and Scotty, beam down. I think it happens in the movies and stuff because Sulu definitely takes the chair, but like that's like 1, 2, and 3 plus the medical officer. Like,
Yeah.
it's a wild
Good luck,
choice.
everybody up there.
I mean, Sulu's got it. It is also because, like I said, this is episode 18 out of in the last season. It's the last time we see a Tellarite or an Andorian. They are dead, but we do see them.
Okay, all right.
There's a lot of because of budget cuts and stuff. There's like a lot of reused shots. There's a lot of reused music.
Yeah.
There's not a huge like guest cast, as you can see. Like
Yeah.
they really were just like, I don't know.
Eking it out, yeah.
This episode. This episode, I guess, not super well loved. Some critics have been like, this is my least favorite because Ronald D. Moore said, It doesn't even have the campy fun of Spock's brain to get you through it, which is true. Like, it's not campy, it's not funny, it's not.
No, it's not. Well, there are bits that are funny. All the sassy stuff is funny.
Yeah, like
but
at the end where they're like, haha, all of my crew member are agreeing. Ha ha ha. I'm Kirk.
that scene went on longer than I expected it to. Also, I don't know what it was
And
about
we
it.
never see Scotty or that girl again. And because it's like episodic, we never hear like, oh, Scotty's girl went to the planet and now he's single again or whatever. No follow up.
Nope, none.
We have all the time in the world. No, you don't, Scotty.
Not at all.
No, you don't.
Not at all.
I feel bad. That was like 10 minutes.
Whatever, who cares? It's a boring episode.
It's so her hair looks great. I like her hairstyle.
Yeah, we were talking too about
She has
like
pretty eyes.
she's
Because they do a
beautiful
lot
eyes.
of zoom in on her eyes because the lights are like in her eyes.
I mean, it makes sense they would choose someone with beautiful eyes to do something
Yeah.
like that too. Yeah, I thought that her hair was very well done. I liked that a lot. I liked that it started to fall down a little bit.
Yeah,
That
when
was
she
nice.
kept falling over because she's so pliant.
Face acting. There was so much good face acting in
There was.
this. The two women that did the most face acting, the one who like died while they were watching her, she was incredible. Her face was pliant and like and then Mira or whatever her name is, like
Mira is right.
going back and forth between
Mira
the
Romaine.
collective, Miss Lettuce, the going back and forth between her and the things. I thought she did such a good job of differentiating those, like with her physicality.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. So she was especially very good. I really enjoyed her inside of this episode.
Yeah, she does a good job. It's just, and like Bobby said at one point when we were watching it, like they can do hard science in an interesting way. They just don't. It's just boring.
Yep, they just
Also,
don't.
the fact that their plan is, I don't know, put her in a pressure chamber and hope she doesn't explode.
For real. Turn it up. Turn it up.
They do that to Kirk in one episode too. I think we've seen it, but there's an episode where they're like, put him in the pressure chamber. I think they're trying to kill him though, but then I don't remember. We talked about it. Go look in our backlog.
Yep. Mhm.
There's a pressure chamber on the Enterprise, and there's a bottle of lye in a school. Like these are things.
Oh my god.
These are things that exist, I guess.
Do we have to use them? Yes, we do. We paid for them in the budget.
Do you have other thoughts about this episode?
No, like I feel like it's boring for no reason.
Any episode that
the
has
worst
like
part.
an extended briefing room scene, you're like, no.
Sometimes they can make the briefing room very interesting, and sometimes there are like scenes...
I don't love TNG, but they do make briefing room scenes way more interesting than TOS.
Yeah, like I like the briefing room. I like the idea of it a lot. I love the screens and the use of those. This just felt like for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
It was just this lady, this
They
girl
were
did
like
this thing.
interrogating her almost.
Yeah.
And being like, computer, has this woman had a psychotic break before?
Yeah, right.
Aggressive? Okay.
No, she had a touch of this, but not so much. Yeah, I enjoyed that, but it just felt like a lot of times when they're boring and they're in there, it's like for diplomacy or it's because they're being attacked in some way. Like this was just boring. It just felt so. We had to pause it halfway through, and I was like, "Oh, we're only halfway through. Oh, we're only halfway through." Like it just felt like it dragged really, really long.
Yeah. I think this is the most boring episode we will watch going forward.
nice.
I think the rest are either like bad or interesting. I think. Yeah, the rest are pretty good. Or at least there's something to talk about. Whereas the Lights of Zetar, when I looked at this morning and I was like, oh, that's what we're doing? I would skip it in a rewatch.
Really?
Yeah, it's so boring to me. This is like bottom 5 episodes for me.
I said while we were watching it, they really wanted people to be doing laundry during this episode, and like I would do that if I was doing
I
a
don't
rewatch.
think they wanted that.
Well, no, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
If I was doing a rewatch, I would do a chore while I was doing this because you can just pop in and they're doing the same thing 5 minutes later.
Yeah. Blah.
All right.
Synopsis showdown.
Synopsis showdown. Wait, hold on. I have to slip my paper. Okay, go ahead.
Mine is very repetitive to everything I've said before. Scotty is annoying as hell when he's in love. Do your job.
A dreadfully mid episode has pretty lights and stellar face acting.
I just say do your job because we didn't bring it up, but like there's several times where Kirk
No, people say it to
calls
him.
down to engineering and he is not there.
Yes. He's trying to do other people's jobs. He like takes over the transporter at one point. Like, bro, do your own job. That's what I found the most unbelievable about this episode. Scotty doesn't love anything more than he loves the ship, and like that, I just don't believe it. Like, are you
Loves
under a
that
spell?
lass.
What is happening?
Loves the lass.
No thanks.
All right. Are you in there? Or are you ready for...
Are you in there? Did you say, are you in there?
Are you in there? Yeah. Are you in there for Scully? It's
And
me.
he is. He is in there.
He's in there. He is in there.
Whatever happened fast.
So basically what you're saying is that nobody knows anything.
But then I guess that's why it's in your inbox.
I couldn't remember Doggett's name for a second, so my brain shorted out.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Here's a summary. All right. I sort of proofread this. All right. All right, listen, this just starts right the fuck off with a large man being disrespectful to a beggar who then truly and completely fucks him up by climbing inside of his body, literally snatching it, and then uses him as a large pod on his way to Washington, D.C. We see the large businessman sit down on his hotel bed and then just start really going for it with the bleeding. Scully and Doggett, no mildly this time, sorry everybody, go to investigate how could someone just abruptly lose all their blood for like no fucking reason. There's a child's fingerprint, which is of course like a red herring, and Scully is like, no. Okay, straight from the wiki on this line because I thought it was funny. Meanwhile, the beggar, somehow, disguised as an ordinary looking white man, gets a job as a janitor at a local elementary school. Menacing. This is also a time in the world when you could just literally walk up to a job, hand them some paper, and they were like, congratulations, you have a job now. The world was different then. Anyway, there's an autopsy. The first. Scully and Doggett are like, literally, what the fuck happened to this guy? There's like a bunch of his internal cavity straight up missing. Also, he was dead before he left India. But how? Again, a quote straight from the Wikipedia. Due to a discrepancy in weight, Scully begins to believe there was a passenger in the corpse. And Scully, you are a Mulder-ass freak now. Okay, so a kid is scared and his dad does not take it seriously. And the punishment is death. Death as fuck. However, having been taken over and wildly and obviously distended, Scully and Doggett are like, okay, autopsy number 2, baby. Scully is like, this is unauthorized, which I found very funny. I forgot about that part. She was like, this is unauthorized. Anyway, I'm going to do it anyway. And what did you know? There is actually a terrifying little guy inside of him who can turn invisible, I guess. Chuck is here. There's some good old Chuck happening here. Legend stuff that's not real enthusiasm. This guy, like, totally has it all. Scully is well fucked up about the fact that she actually does need to be the Mulder now and is having like a really hard time doing it. But her brain is cheesed because, girl, you literally suggested that a human passenger was inside of a human body and you were right, which is the most Mulder thing of all fucking time. I swear to God. Anyway, Chuck and Scully basically solve the mystery. Anyway, the beggar's back and he is terrifying. Now another parent is dead by pool magic. In what must be extreme trauma, the kids go after the dude. They tell Scully and they're like following him into a fucking school. Anyway, there's a pretty cool chase scene through the school where the hunting become the hunted. And then Scully shoots a child, sort of. Then they fully and completely lose this man and he starts right back up in India. The end. What did you think about this episode?
It was fine. I feel like I should have stronger opinions about it because there was nothing I didn't like about this episode.
Yes.
But there was I don't think there were a ton of plot holes other than the button, but that just feels like dumb Chris Carter to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think Scully had great acting moments of her. Like a lot of the other Doggett stuff we've seen has been later in the series where him and Scully already kind of have a rapport. So this is like kind of my first seeing. I think it's my first seeing her, like really grapple with the fact that Mulder is missing and like what that means to her. Mm-hmm. I think in a uncharacteristic way for the X-Files, I think they do actually handle a lot of the India stuff like pretty well, like when Chuck is explaining it, and I think they could have handled the little person stuff a little better, but it's also the 90s, so like it wasn't that bad for how it could have been. Yeah, I mean it is a scary monster.
The creaky wheel is it's a good effect.
It's a good effect. The kids do a good job. Doggett does a good job of like being skeptical but not being an asshole, I think. There's like plenty that is good in this episode. I don't know if it's because we just came off of a boring ass episode or if it's because I'm really sleepy, but I was like, it's fine.
I mean, that's why I said in my thing at the top, like, this is a season with lots of episodes like this too, where when you're watching them, like say you're going through a rewatch, it's like, oh, this actually isn't as bad. Because you think of 8 and 9, everyone immediately is like, they're garbage. Every single piece of it is garbage, which is just not true of season 8. Season 9, there's a lot of garbage in that one.
But with television shows that have that many episodes, like no season is like true garbage. There's always a couple episodes like for me, I think season 6 of Supernatural is fucking terrible. There are a couple episodes in that are some people's favorite episodes. Overall, a terrible season, but like there's always something. When you have 23 episodes, one of them is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, it's true. I will always apologize for the 8th season. I like Doggett. I think that he does a good job.
I think they have a very interesting rapport. I think Scully, like, I don't have as much affinity to Chuck as you guys do because, like, I've only seen him a couple times, but I think her interaction with Chuck is really, like, good, and how he's like, this is weird. Like, you usually don't call me. And, like, yeah, I think there's a lot of it that is interesting. My first note is rich white guy in India, he probably deserves whatever happens to him.
Yeah, for real.
My one other note that I was kind of annoyed with, I was like, I'm kind of annoyed by the inconsistency of the weight of the victims. Because at first it seemed like it was really important that the victims be very large because a literal human being is inside of them. But then kind of when they explained it later with the mysticism, like, oh, they could make their bodies really small or whatever. But so that was annoying at first. But then you also find out, like, oh, he's on, like, a revenge tour because all these businessmen fucked up his village and killed his son. And you're like, good for you.
Yeah, for real.
But then he started going after those kids, and those kids didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
And he killed that lady. I don't think that lady did anything.
I don't know, that there's no real resolution or answer to, like, she could have. I mean,
That's true.
She did.
It's the 90s. She could have been a business lady.
She could have been a businesswoman or
Business girl.
She's a business girl.
A lot of padded shoulders.
Yeah, for real.
A lot of blazers.
We only saw her home attire. We do not know what her
Yeah.
daytime attire looks like. It could be anything.
Those two kids did a good job.
I love that they became BFFs and, like,
Yeah, what a good, like, side story of, like, your bully and then you team up because something horrible happens to your family and you're one of the only people who can see this guy, which also makes sense in a lot of, like, supernatural stuff. Like, kids can see more stuff than adults because they haven't been jaded by reality or whatever. But yeah, I really like the side, like, plot of those kids, like, teaming up together and, like, those kids are gonna be BFFs for life now.
it's true.
It's gonna be, like, best man at his wedding.
Tells a story about one time we just snuck into the school. You'd never believe what happened to us.
Why does the school have a giant jar of lye?
Bro, I don't know.
Also, that kid definitely stepped in the acid.
I mean, lye is used to clean stuff, so I can kind of understand.
A giant jar?
No, and it shouldn't be on a top shelf. Yeah. But, like, I understand why, as a cleaning product, they would have some. But if he fell in it, he would have acid burns everywhere.
Pure lye. You don't need pure lye to clean a school.
Listen, people used to eat arsenic because they thought it made you better. Okay, I don't know. I can't tell you what happened in the 2000s. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I don't know. I don't really even have a lot to say about it. Like, you were talking about how he makes himself very small. The really early drafts of this episode featured an antagonist with no legs who could actually shrink himself and climb inside your ear, which sounds horrifying.
I mean, technically, we don't know how. We know that he gets really small, and we know that the first symptom that you see is the broken blood vessels. So, like, it could still be his ear. We don't know. We don't know how small. We just know that when he gets out, he extends and crawls out the butthole.
Yeah. I just assumed he went in through the butthole. No one's going to see the butthole. And then he, like, holds it together.
Well, I think it's depending on how long he wants to be in the body for. Because, like, the guy in India, he, like, had to be in that
he had to change planes in Paris.
18 hours. Where the other guy, he just wanted that guy dead.
That's true. But he had to use him as a little pod to get there. Otherwise, how could he kill all the other people connected to it? Also, that was only a couple people. Is he going back? Like, is that dude that we saw at the end part of that?
I don't know. Are we supposed to believe that she shot him and he, like, projected a image of it?
Yeah.
But then by the time, somebody would realize it would go away eventually, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like this episode didn't need that button.
Yeah, I would agree. That's what people say, is that it doesn't end well. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I feel like it plays within its own magical rules up until that moment. And also, like, it does a good job of not over-explaining the magical rules, so they don't have to, like, actually explain stuff, which is also fine. Just don't break your own rule. But then at the end, he's like, but he's also there. Whatever.
Yeah, I will tell you that a lot of people who worked on it said they didn't like it, and they wished they had not done it, like, straight up. And he
does a good job, the antagonist. Yes. I unfortunately only know him from that Willy Wonka movie.
Yes.
But he does a good job in this episode, especially because he says no words.
Yes, he's excellent. He does a very good job. He is, like the Star Trek episode, he's great at nonverbal body acting.
Yeah,
really
totally.
good at it.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
Very scary and menacing. Does a great job.
He does it. That a lot of the like positive reception is about that he's a very good monster of the week, and that some people are like he is one of the scariest villains of all of the X-Files, which like I can see if you're really freaked out about body horror in a very specific way. Like I can understand how you'd be
the
like,
scene
this
where
is horrifying.
she cuts the stomach open and the hand comes out. Like that's gross and scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did a great job. They did a good job of really presenting him as menacing, even though, like you said, he didn't say anything. He was just like squeaking
He did
around.
a good job.
Yeah, he was very good.
And again, like I'm not Indian, but it didn't seem like they were being super shitty about cultural stuff. It seemed like Chuck was very like, India rules. Here's some cool fun facts about India. And like the white guy at the beginning who was shitty about it got his.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
There were people who did complain that they said that it was a xenophobic episode, but part of that was that it was the 90s, and also like they had already done some very xenophobic episodes. So I can understand how people would watch this and be like, this is season 8, we already hate it, like really dig in on that.
I mean, I think maybe my threshold is very low because there have been so many worse racist, xenophobic episodes. And this one seems like, the monster is, quote unquote, the monster is from India. But like also when you find out his motivation, you're like, team him?
Yeah, for
You
real.
know what I mean?
I don't want him to die. I'm not like, you're a bad guy who should be taken into custody in any way.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have fucked with those kids. He probably would have gotten away with everything if he didn't fuck with those kids.
Yeah, for real. And like, he
But,
could
you know,
have gotten him, and he just didn't. So,
but also the kid, like that's very common in like revenge stories. Like the kids, he lost his kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, not that that's. I'm just saying, from a getaway standpoint, not a great move.
yeah, I like have almost nothing on this. It's one of those episodes that
What's Badlaa mean? The title.
I have it written down somewhere. Do you have it? Bobby will do it.
Bobby will do it.
Bobby will do
It
it.
seems like it's probably significant.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. I'm sorry. I just have it written down, and I'm so bored by these episodes I can't find the information.
Yeah, I think the Fakir stuff and the like city mystic stuff is like interesting. Like that's all pretty interesting.
One of the things that I read said it opens up thorny issues over how we view weakness, deformity, race, and otherness, which I think is a good way to look at it too.
Yeah, and they talk about how I don't really even like calling him a monster. He is human. He just has these mystical powers, and he's doing a monstrous thing. But how he's part of the like beggar caste, and like
I found it. It means vengeance or revenge.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to do a synopsis showdown?
Sure.
Wow, this is really people are going to see this and be like 40 minutes long. Why is this so short? This might be our shortest episode.
We'll see. Bobby.
We've had at least
talks
one
a
that
lot.
was very. Yeah, that's true. Bobby
could ruin it.
Really fill it out for us. Okay. Am I ready for synopsis showdown? All right.
I am.
Do not fuck with a mystic son.
Maybe don't be a shitbag colonial businessman and you won't have your butthole mystically exploded.
Yeah. Good one. All right. Are you ready?
Or
Deep Throat's mission logs.
yes.
Dr. McCoy, Mr. Spock, and Engineer Scott find themselves in complete agreement. Can I stand the strain?
If these episodes have given us anything, I think this is the most we've ever said butthole in an episode of X-Tracks.
Butthole's a pretty fun word to say.
And I think that's a gift. That's a gift.
It's something that it gave us. You're right. Every butthole is a gift.
Every butthole is a gift.
Every butthole is a gift.
And everyone's a little different, like a snowflake. Starting with the Lights of Zetar, first aired January 31st, 1969. Written by Jeremy Tarcher and Sherry Lewis, as Stell mentioned. Okay.
Lamb chop.
The story of how this happened. Tarcher had worked his way up from the mailroom of a New York TV station to becoming a producer and marrying Sherry Lewis in 1958 and producing her show, The Sherry Show. Later in his life, he pivots to publishing, putting out several celebrity personality books, Johnny Carson's, Phyllis Diller's, until releasing several books that put him at the forefront of the New Age movement. But going backwards a little bit,
Good New Age stuff or white supremacy New Age stuff?
it's New Age stuff in like the early 70s and 80s. So it's white
both.
people stuff. Yeah. This exists because Sherry Lewis was legitimately a fan of Star Trek.
That rules.
She was also by this.
That makes sense.
She was also by this point a known television personality and person as well. She'd been doing Lamb Chop since like Carson. She'd already had her own kid shows. Side note of this, Sherry Lewis's life was dope.
She's dope as hell.
Yeah.
Her dad was deemed the official magician of New York during the
Sick.
Great Depression.
Not the official magician.
Yes.
That's wild.
Yeah. And she was like raised as his assistant, and then she started doing ventriloquist stuff and kid store
Do we
stuff.
still have official magicians?
I don't know. We should look into this.
Yeah, we should.
State bird, state magician.
State magician.
Sherry Lewis, a fucking champion of kids' TV shows in childhood of people in the 70s and also then in mine as well.
I love Lamb Chop.
Yeah. Lamb
I'm a
Chop's Play
PBS
Along.
kid.
Lamb Chop's Play Along was early 90s, and like the whole point of the show was it was called an anti-couch potato show. There were a bunch of sing-alongs and dances during the show that was meant to get kids.
And just the best eyelashes.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Lamb Chop was like ready.
Yeah. She also introduced to the modern zeitgeist the song That Doesn't End, which
my
I think
God.
also
Song that
introduced
doesn't
smoking pot back into my parents' lives. So
Started singing and not knowing what it was, and we'll continue singing it forever just because it's
I love how they were going to blame me for this episode being longer, and then they
that's
started
just what
that.
it is.
Just came out of us.
So yes, Sherry Lewis wanted to write a Star Trek episode, and Tarcher was
And
the guy.
star in it, but they didn't let her.
Yeah.
Not hot enough, I guess. She's not like traditionally hot. She's pretty, but
Yeah.
not for like.
Oh, she was cuter. Like back then, we're
Yeah,
used to
but
like
still.
big hair Sherry Lewis or whatever. But yeah, I
I'm
get.
still looking at her.
Jan Chatan, who plays
No, she
Lieutenant-
definitely could have.
Yeah.
Why didn't they cast her? Fuck Gene Roddenberry.
So Jan Chatan, who plays Lieutenant Romaine, she tells a short story about this of, according to her recollection regarding the role of Mira, I think Sherry was supposed to get the part. She wrote it for herself. When I went in to interview, Sherry was there. I didn't know she had written it or was up for
Awkward.
it, but then I got it right away.
Oh, God.
Oh, Sherry.
But no, Sherry Lewis lived a dope life. Their child, Mallory, is still doing Lamb Chop Live
Yep.
now. Really, really cool shit there. Directed by Herb Kenwith, this is his only Trek episode. He was a Broadway performer, stage manager, and producer before getting into TV. Off-Broadway, he directed a bunch of shows at Princeton, which is where he met Lucille Ball. Lucy would then tap him to direct his Here's Lucy show. They become really good friends.
Sherry Lewis and Lucille Ball kind of look alike.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
The same color red hair.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of look alike.
I'm sure there was no beef just because Lucille Ball never like did shit with sock puppets. So like they were cool.
Yeah, for real.
Ventriloquism is hard.
It is very hard. And it's said of him that since he usually does sitcoms, he produced and directed the entire first season of Different Strokes and a bunch of sitcoms. The Trek crew was really surprised at how well he did drama and TV as well in this episode. Yeah,
Well,
right.
How boring.
The two boring books that Stella mentioned earlier. There's one called Memory Prime, and that's the story of Mira Romaine on Memory Prime, the successor to Memory Alpha. It's the plot of this is mentioned, but then other that kind of like glazed over. No one brings up Scotty. No one brings up their relationship, probably on
Sore
purpose.
subject.
yeah, for real. Maybe we don't acknowledge it, it'll go away.
In the Strange New World 6 anthology,
Which is like a bunch of short stories, right?
Yeah. Mira and also a time-warped Captain Morgan Bateson, who is Kelsey Grammer, plays this character in TNG.
Oh, okay.
He's captain of the USS Bozeman. They get flung into the future together and have, like, talk about stuff and have a rivalry. Neither of these sound like interesting books, so I'm just supporting
They don't.
Stella's point.
Maybe they're great. They don't sound great.
Getting into some casting stuff, the voice of the Zetarians is our girl Barbara Babcock, who we've seen play
Nice.
cats and dominatrixes and everything in this show. We're pro her, so I wanted to mention her. That technician who does a great job on Memory Alpha is played by Libby Irwin. She doesn't have,
the woman.
yeah. She doesn't have like a long TV career. I just wanted to mention her because she does great at giving that horrific face. And that brings us to Jan Chatan, who plays Lieutenant Mira Romaine.
And Chatan.
Erin called her Miss Lettuce earlier. My brain goes one step further because Mira is look in Spanish, so it's look lettuce.
Look, lettuce.
Look, lettuce.
Look, lettuce.
Aside from her TV guest work in the 60s and 70s, she does a lot of modeling and commercial work in her time as an actor. There's a quote from her. She started ads for Territon cigarettes and went on to promote, in her own words, anything from cars to soap suds. She was getting billed at $10,000 a commercial gig.
Good
at,
for
like,
her.
The height of her work was getting the bag. Hell
Good
yes.
for her.
And then in like 1988, after marrying her second husband, who was an Emmy Award-winning writer and producer, David Levinson, she retires from acting.
Oh, I'd love
Doesn't
a
do it anymore.
retiree. Love an actor that can retire.
Moving on to Badlaa, that is January 21st, 2001. So we get close in this one, too. Kind of fucking crazy. Fox promoted this episode with the tagline, "Imagine a man who can squeeze into a shoebox, a suitcase, or a victim." Or your butthole.
Or butthole.
Written by John Scheiben, who we talked about, directed by Tony Warmbury, who we've discussed before when talking about John Doe, but he does a bunch of 8 and 9, and God bless the people who were making TV for the X-Files in 8 and 9. It was their jobs. They did their best.
They did their best.
That Bombay airport that we see beginning end of the episode is a cruise line terminal in Long Beach, California. Illett Jones, the location manager for the series, felt that that terminal felt dated, and they just threw a bunch of old English cars there, so it looked perfect for a Bombay scene.
They did a really good job.
Yeah. Some will notice that still on IMDb and a couple of other places, David Duchovny is credited in this episode. Obviously a fuck up. They mention him, but he's not there. Blu-ray releases have that removed, but it's still on IMDb.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
He's there.
He's just there in secret.
He's always there.
Yeah, we're keeping this short. Moving. Hell yeah.
Keeping it short.
Moving on to some acting stuff. This is the last appearance of Bill Dow as Burks on the show. Comes back in season 11 as a different character who looks and acts pretty much exactly the same. Maybe a little more nerded up than Burks ever gets, because Burks was always a pretty grounded character.
Yes.
Cool. So we see Kieran Rao as a customs agent. He does a couple episodes of 24 later, Spin City, Frasier. We see Winston Story as a bellboy, most known as Trent Ovenrunner on the Canadian kids shows Henry Danger and Danger Force, kind of like a Power Rangers thing.
Danger Force.
Also intern Leo on 19 episodes of Grey's Anatomy, and Bill Hummertrout on 7 episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We see the teacher character who doesn't have like a long credits list, but I want to name her because her name is Mimi Savage. Dope name.
Sick.
As the redheaded kid who we see earlier, that's Jacob Franek. He voices young Kazuya in the 98 Tekken movie. Moving upward to Mr. Burhead, who is played by Christopher Hudson. He was a stand-up comedian in the 80s and 90s, did a bunch of guest TV work in the 2000s, but while he was doing that, taught himself to edit on the editing software Avid, and transitions into a career of a director and producer.
Sick.
Great job.
Self-taught. Love it.
As Trevor's mother, that's Maura Soden, has done work as a casting director, writer, and producer as well, guest stuff everywhere, played a nurse in a TV movie called Frankenstein, The College Years. Might be worth looking into.
Okay.
AD and some Golden Girls, casting director for over 200 commercials, and has won awards for her infomercial role while also doing dinner theater as well.
Tuh.
Like varied stuff.
It.
As Mrs. Holt, that's Jane Daly. In 72, she was in a movie called Children Should Play with Dead Things, also Roomies, Melrose Place, and the 2019 series The Rookie. She's also in season 3, episode 22 of TNG, called The Most Toys, playing a character called Varia. That's Andy Hubble as Quentin's father. Some guest stuff through the 90s. Coolest of that being playing Agent Orange in a movie called Guns of El Chupacabra. Honestly, that's enough. All of that is working up to us getting to Deep Roy, who plays the Beggar Man. legitimately a legendary career. I know, like, first comes to mind for us Zeitgeist is, yes, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie where he plays every single Oompa Loompa. He had to take yoga classes to do all that dancing shit. But, like, you've seen him in a bunch of other shit before. He's uncredited as a body double and a stand-in for Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, cool.
He's in the
I didn't know
1980s Flash Gordon movie, The Dark Crystal. He's an Ewok named Droopy McCool in Return of the Jedi. Teeny Weeny in The Neverending Story, that's the guy that rides on top of the dog snail thing. That's him as well. The Tin Man in 85's Fever Dream, Return to Oz. Doctor Who episodes, the live action How the Grinch
he's really
Stole
good
Christmas.
at Doctor Who.
Yes, he is.
I remember that episode.
Again, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory we talked about. Mr. Soggy in Big Fish. And he plays a character called Keenser in all 3 AU Star Trek movies.
Oh, that's
Actually,
right. He's Scotty's
Yep.
weird little
That's him
friend.
in the
He's great in that because he doesn't have any like lines in English. He speaks an alien language and honestly does mostly body language. He's an excellent body language actor.
Yep. Yeah.
Totally.
So that's him.
Keenser's great.
He plays a bunch of characters that are in costumes and under hoods and stuff like that. His IMDb profile and his website information is very brief. All it really gives is born on January 26, 1949 in Nairobi, Kenya. Please write an autobiography. Your career has been so cool. I
Or
want to know
honestly,
more about
just
you.
take the money and have a quiet
Well,
life.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, fair. 2 options. There are 2 options.
I want to know information about you, but you don't owe me that. Moving on to then the kids who get top billing in this.
From Twilight.
First, we'll go through the other one. We'll go through Quentin, who's played like Jordan Blake Warcall, who is Froggy in the 1994 Little Rascals
He's
reboot.
the one with the deep. He's the one with the deep voice.
The deep voice, yeah. He did some other TV and film work in up to 2006, Slider, Walker, Texas Ranger. Also voice work in Bug's Life, Hey Arnold, Rocket Power. And then he got married and left the biz. Great for him. And then moving on, that is Michael Welch playing Trevor.
Twilight.
Of course, yes. He plays Mike in the Twilight movies.
Of course.
Cool fact about this, he played Josh in the Malcolm in the Middle episode New Neighbors that aired immediately before this episode
What?
first
I
aired.
do love that.
So yeah, he back-to-back billed this night of television in
very
2001.
That's pretty funny.
Another like that kid with that kind of face at that time, really, really successful one.
Yeah.
His first credited role is playing a young Niles Crane in a Frasier episode. Fucking works. It absolutely works.
I mean, the Twilight movies, again, are the Twilight movies. I will stand by my assessment that the first Twilight movie is one of the strongest book-to-film adaptations I've ever seen. And he does a good job because he actually plays like a good, annoying high school kid.
Yes.
Because he's like the normal guy that has a crush on Bella. And it's like, hey, Bella.
I think everyone on that set was doing justice to the source material.
It's just the source material
regardless of how that you feel about that. Yeah.
100%. Like when people are like, oh, like Kristen Stewart's so bad in that movie. I'm like, no, Bella just sucks. She's actually really good in that movie because Bella sucks.
Bella
and
sucks.
she does a good job.
The characters are dumb. It's a shitty Romeo and Juliet. Like that's what it is.
That first movie is shot really well. The like director does a good job. It's just like it's Twilight, so it's easy to make fun of, but it is again one of the strongest book to film adaptations ever.
So he was everywhere on TV in the late 90s, from Walker, Texas Ranger to Norm in the Drew Carey Show. I personally must have seen him play a shitty little kid in like every sitcom, every comedic sitcom at that point. Luke on 45 episodes of Joe to Arcadia, SVU, CSI, all before Twilight's. After that was a main character on the sci-fi show Z Nation and still guesting and working everywhere now. His first film experience was playing Artem in Star Trek Insurrection.
Hey, that one is boring though.
Yeah, it's
that's
kind of
the
boring.
most boring Star Trek movie.
Yeah, and then in his free time, he's very passionate about clean water and is heavily involved in the Thirst Project, a youth-oriented nonprofit that builds freshwater wells in developing communities.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool beans, Mike.
Again, keeping it brief. Stay pliant out there. Buttholes.
Now, pliant buttholes. Now it's
Pliant buttholes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Burks. You're a professor of what?
I run the Advanced Digital Imaging Lab at the University of Maryland, and I dabble.
You dabble.
Now it's time for our overall thoughts. How do these episodes tie together or tie to the theme?
I mean,
They're sort of.
sort of.
They're not like traditional body snatching, which is they're both not traditional body snatching.
Yeah.
So that works.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he does crawl inside of people, so I would say that counts as like a semi-traditional body snatch.
Well, yeah, I guess I just think of it being more like, I don't know what I think of it.
Yeah, I don't know what I would exactly say body snatch means as like
Yeah.
a Bible definition, but I like the idea of a psychological body snatch. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. That's a yawn. Sorry.
Big yawn.
How well do these episodes tie together? Well, they do hit the theme, sort of. They're both got the ick.
They both got the ick. There's not really a nobody doing their job in the X-Files except for Mulder.
Everybody's
who's
kind of doing their job.
insane.
Even the monster of the week is doing his job as a janitor.
Yeah, that's right. He's
doing his job.
He did. He committed to that.
Everyone's literally doing their jobs. That's funny. Superfan questionnaire. As a superfan, would this episode be on your must-watch list?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Do I want someone to never watch Star Trek again? Absolutely not.
Yeah, this wouldn't be. It wouldn't. I don't know if I would skip it, but it's not on a must-watch for me.
Yeah.
Is there a series-defining moment in this episode?
Uhura flings at one point, but that's kind of it. I don't know.
I think the scene at the end when they're all yucking
Yes,
it up is
that's
a very
true.
regular series-defining moment.
You're right. That's right. The gay space laughter, really. That scene felt like it went on for a really long time, too. I guess that's why I didn't think of it right away. Because normally when I think of bridge flirting, it's like quick and quippy.
And this was in their private quarters.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Wow. Is there a series-defining moment in the X-Files? I don't know. Probably when Scully was getting all up in that butthole in the autopsy.
There's two autopsies in this, which
They're
is
both
very
regular X-Files. Like, oh, let me go do this terrifying autopsy. I think there's a man inside of here. I'm going to do it by myself.
alone. I'm alone in here. No big deal. I'm doing an unauthorized autopsy where I think I'm taking a person out of a person. No need to call for help. Don't need Doggett, who is a good person for shooting. Nope. Don't need any of that.
Don't need it. Does this affirm your OTP of Kirk in the Enterprise?
It does not.
Nope.
No, it does. It shreds my idea of Scotty in the Enterprise, who like that's the real OTP. How could he possibly let go of the ship? No. The answer is no. Does this affirm your OTP? It's
No.
right. Like, what do you?
No. Well, there's no Mulder and there's no Skinner, so like,
Yeah.
what OTP? Is this episode a fuck, fine, or a flop?
This is the most mid-fine episode we've watched.
Yeah, I think that this is a fine, even though there's a lot of things individually that you're like, oh, that was good, that was good. It was just a fine watch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2 big fines.
2 big fines. So I will argue that the X-Files one is a better fine.
Yeah.
It is a more entertaining episode by far.
Yeah. It's not, like you said, you wouldn't necessarily skip it on a rewatch.
Yeah. All right.
You can find us on the internet. Follow us at NYD Productions on Instagram and interact with the show using the hashtag XTrexPod. You can find me at NYD Urgency on Instagram.
You can find me on Blue Sky, Tumblr, and Instagram at Stella Cheeks.
You can find me on Blue Sky at Castle Uncle Vanya. And if you want to find us elsewhere, you can also subscribe to our monthly newsletter at nydproductions.beehive.com. That's nydproductions.beehiiv.com for updates on things that we've been listening to, playing, reading, screaming at the sky, downloading, eating.
Illegally. You can also email us at xtrexpod@gmail.com with questions or comments. You want to fic where our lads are too horny to work? I got one of those. Also, like we're a little over halfway over the season, so we'll be doing our wrap up relatively soon. So if you got a question that you want us to save for the end, you can also send it to xtrexpod@gmail.com.
And if you also find yourself too horny to work, there is a channel on our Discord our free Discord, where we share fics, and sometimes Erin reads them and gives a play-by-play of her feelings and her ever-evolving relationship with fanfics. That's been interesting, quote-unquote, content to read and get from you.
Quote content.
Both on the Discord and on our company Instagram, where that stuff's been going out. That's been great. That's for free. But also, if you feel feel like getting kind of more of that content, but also giving us a little money, we have things like episode outtakes, other podcasts like Unofficial Channels and NYD After Dark, all on our Patreon at patreon.com/NYD Productions, where you can get all of that and more for only $1.
And don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and to tell your friends. We find that this nerdy shit is better when it's shared.
We'll see you next episode for Gray Sweatpants.
Ooh, all right.
In the meantime,
Believe boldly.
Seek truth.
ship proudly.
X-Trex is created and written by Stella Cheeks, Erin Cline, and Bobby Hoffman, and produced by Bobby Hoffman for NYD Productions. Our show theme is Alien Spy by Ionix, and our show art was made by Jonathan Curtis.
Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. That's enough, guys. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that doesn't end. How do I turn you off? Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Okay, okay. I get the joke. Singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever. I can't believe you guys. This is the song that doesn't end. Okay, yes, I've had it. That's it. That's it. What are you doing? Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was. Hey! No, this is the last time, right? This is it. This is it. This is it. This is not funny. Okay, if you guys are gonna keep that up, I want you to go far, far away. Go, go, go. No. Keep. This is the song that does it. How do I turn you off? It goes on and on, my friend. Okay, okay. I get the joke. Singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever. I can't believe you guys. This is the song that does it. Okay, yes, I've had it. That's it. That's it. What are you doing? Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was. Hey! No. This is the last time, right? This is it. This is it. This is it. This is not funny. Some people. Okay, if you guys are gonna keep that up, I want you to go far, far away. Go, go, go. No. Keep. This is the song that does it. How do I turn you off? It goes on and on, my friend. Okay, okay. I get the joke. Singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever. I can't believe you guys. This is the song that does it. Okay, yes, I've had it. That's it. That's it. What are you doing? Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was. Hey! No. This is the last time, right? This is it. This is it. This is it. This is not funny. My friend. Some people. Okay, if you guys are gonna keep that up, I want you to go far, far away. Go, go, go. No. Keep. This is the song that does it. How do I turn you off? It goes on and on, my friend. Okay, okay. I get the joke. Singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever. I can't believe you guys. This is the song that does it. Okay, yes, I've had it. That's it. That's it. What are you doing? Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was. Hey! No. This is the last time, right? This is it. This is it. This is it. This is not funny. My friend. Some people. Okay, if you guys are gonna keep that up, I want you to go far, far away. Go, go, go. No. Keep. This is the song that does it. How do I turn you off? It goes on and on, my friend. Okay, okay. I get the joke. Singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever. I can't believe you guys. guys. Okay, I've had it. That's it. That's it. What are you doing? Some people started singing it. What is this? Hey! No. This is the last time, right? This is it. This is it. This is it. This is not fun. Okay, if you guys are gonna keep that up, I want you to go far, far away. Go. No. Keep. This is the song that does it. How do I turn you off? It goes on and on, my friend. Okay. I get the joke. Not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever. I can't believe you guys. This is the song that does it. Okay, I've had it. That's it.